Good morning, YouTube. So, it's been a few days since I put my last one up, and I apologize for that. Basically, I had some issues go on, and I just didn't have time to play at all. So, along the way, I saw a video by a guy named Tor Lowry, which is up on YouTube, and I'll link to it below. What he was talking about is assessing skill based on a set of drills. I disagree that you're assessing skill with these drills, but I do think they're decent drills. So I'm going to go ahead and do them to see how I do. And basically the way that they work is this. You start with 3 balls plus the cue ball. You just throw them out on the table. Okay? And then what you have to do is call the pocket. You have to shoot them in rotation. So here I have to shoot the 3, then the 8, then the 9. So you have to shoot the lowest ball on the table first. You have to call all your shots before you start shooting the first ball. So I have to say, I'm going to put the 3 there, I'm going to put the 8 there, and I'm going to put the 9 here. And then you shoot them. And it's kind of a version of a ghost. Oh wow, I screwed that up. Kind of a version of the ghost, but you're calling your shots before you ever even start shooting. Now, Tor says this is how you figure out your skill. Oh, let me finish with the rules. So then you have to win 10 games before the ghost wins 3. If you miss, if you scratch, ghost wins. If you don't put the ball in the pocket you called, you lose, ghost wins. So this is actually a really good pattern play drill, and it's a good way to assess your pattern play, but it is, I would disagree that it is a measure of your overall pool skill, because you're not taking into account the strategic elements of the game. 3 foul rule is a real thing. It's not something that happens all the time, but people don't shoot for it all the time. In fact, many of the pros in tournament play, if there's a run on the table, or if there's a way to potentially break out a problem ball that's fairly straightforward, they won't play for the 3 foul rule. They'll turn down the 3 foul rule in favor of the run. And I don't disagree with that. 99.9% of the time, it's the right choice to make. However, if you are playing somebody and the opportunity presents itself for a 3 foul win, the demoralizing aspect of that makes it worth doing. I pulled off a 3 foul win in the US Open. I won a rack on the 3 foul rule. And for the next 4 racks, the other guy couldn't shoot. He missed everything he shot at because it got into his head. I got 3 fouled in the US Open. I had another case where I was, back when I played for money occasionally, where I was playing a very good player, one of the top players in the area, for real money, and I 3 fouled him, and I ended up getting 2 racks for free because I 3 fouled him. So the strategic element of the game is just as important as the shot making, if not more so. When you get into the top levels, you can pretty much assume that anybody that gets up to the table with an open shot at the table is going to get out. And so at the highest levels, when you're looking at a table, if you let the other guy to the table, you have to assume he's going to get out. And so the alternating break thing comes into play there, where you're trying to break the other, in tennis they would call it breaking the other person's serve. It's the same thing in pool. You have to break the opponent's serve, or win when they had the advantage going into the game, because it can be a 3-game swing. So anyhow, so I disagree with this as a true test of skill. However, I do agree that it is a good drill for pattern play, and I'm going to play the whole thing out to see where I actually am according to his rules. Basically, okay, so win 10 games with 3 balls plus a cue ball on the table. Then you do 10 games with 4 balls plus a cue ball. Then you do 10 games with 5 ball plus a cue ball. When the ghost wins, then your skill level is whatever the last level you completed successfully was. So 3 balls, I mean, this should be fairly easy for anybody that is above a bar banger, so to speak. Yes, I'm not a bar banger. So 3 balls, figure out your pattern, figure out the easiest way to get there. 1 in the side, 3 in the corner, 8 in the corner. I mean, these are just randomly thrown out, and with only 3 balls on the table, it's not exactly a super difficult task. The other thing I don't like about this is it doesn't allow you to change your mind. So if you get out of line, if you were to get out of line, you aren't allowed to get back in line. And that's actually, if you're watching pro play, you'll see that even your top rated pros, your Siegels and your Stricklands, they get out of line. They don't roll far enough, the table gives them a funny roll, and they get out of line. It happens. And it happens actually pretty often. Well, part of the reason that they're as good as they are is because they know how to get back up for their 8 there, 9 here. Part of the reason they're, okay. Part of the reason that they are where they are is because they know how, not just how to make shots, but how to get back in line when they get in trouble. But a lot of times that means shooting in a pocket that you didn't originally anticipate, and this drill does not allow for that. So anyhow, we're going to shoot this drill, and we're going to see how we do. And I'm going to record it and put it up. So we'll see where we are. And we can use this as a benchmark of where I actually stand in terms of play, and use it as a means to check progress, so to speak. 2 in the corner, 7 in the side, 8 in this corner. See now here, perfect example of what I was talking about if you get out of line. So I could still make it up in that corner. It's a much more difficult shot, but if I was playing the game, I would shoot this 8 in that corner. It's an easier shot from where I ended up. So shooting the low percentage shot and teaching yourself to shoot the low percentage shot simply because that's the pattern you declared, really this is a shot maker's drill as opposed to a thinking drill. Yeah, that's a bad way of saying that, but. So, I still am successful in the drill, but you can see I was out of line. I got myself out of trouble with shot making, not with good pattern play, not with thinking through how to get back in line, because there was no way from that point. So here, 1 in the side, 4 in the corner, 7 in this corner. All right, so anyhow, that is the skill drill of the day. It is to do this Tor Lowry exercise, and I'll link to the video below. He talks about some tips on how to accomplish it if you aren't quite sure how to do the pattern play thing yet. I will see you next time. Have a great day. Have a great weekend.